em mais uma entrevista para 89, a Rádio Rock. E hoje o papo vai ser com o Serj Tankian, de um jeito bem diferente, já que ele está divulgando a sua autobiografia, que foi lançada aqui no Brasil, chamada Down with the System. E uma exclusiva pra gente, ele contou um pouco dos detalhes do que ele escreveu. Confere aí. In the book, you reflect on your transformation from like a promising career in business and law to music. What motivated you to make this choice, and how do you address this decision in your autobiography?
I had an epiphany one day after working in downtown Los Angeles at my uncle's jewelry business and driving all the way across town to Long Beach on a very rainy day to take LSAT classes, to take the law school exam to get into law school. I had decided to do something different because I knew law based on the predicament that my parents were in, a very unjust civil case. I went across and I saw all these people really having a great time wanting to learn about law. And I hated lawyers at the time, based on what was happening in my family's life. And I had an epiphany on the road back. I was in a Jeep Wrangler on a rainy day on Laurel Canyon Boulevard, racing up, and I realized how much I hate everything that I'm trying to do. And my subconscious spoke to me. And basically, the epiphany was that I should be doing music. And it was a very dramatic moment, well described in detail in the book.
And the impact of Armenian genocide is something that you've been talking for years now. How is this theme explored in Down with the System, and also how has this shaped your worldview?
With System of a Down, we've written a few songs about our ancestors and the Armenian genocide, from Pluck to Holy Mountains. I also have a song I recently released on my foundation's EP called Justice Will Shine On, telling my grandparents' story and their survival. The way it shaped my life is that the hypocrisy of the denial of the Armenian genocide in a well-known democracy such as the United States made me an activist of all things. It made me think, how many other things are there in the world that are taboo or kept under wraps due to political expediency or economic reasons? And I was at first an activist, then an artist after.
Was there any personal story or event that you were initially unsure if you're going to put in the book, but then you later decided to share with your readers?
I included a lot of intimate things within the book, a lot of things that could be seen as confrontational, but I did it in a way that was retrospective and respectful, while taking responsibility for my own part in the drama. And so, there's a lot of things like that. The book is incredibly honest and intimate in that sense. There's a lot of things I did leave out. Some of them were sensationalist stories of touring with other artists that I didn't feel obliged to represent without their understanding and conditional release.
Did you find more challenging or liberating, maybe, to share your story through a book instead of music?
I think, telling your story through music is challenging because of the limitations of the musical refrain. Whereas in a book, a 300-plus page book, you can expound more so than any other form of art, more so than films or art itself.
The censorship of Chop Suey after 9/11 was something that was really huge on your career. How did you deal with the situation at the time? And also, how is the experience of controversy and censorship included in your book? Especially knowing the current events around the world.
The so-called censorship after we released Chop Suey and our second record, Toxicity, after 9/11, and me writing the essay, Understanding Oil, which became, a big deal, I guess. And, that taught me a lot. It taught me that it's very easy to be critical when public opinion is on your side, and extremely difficult, even in a democracy, when it's not. And nonetheless, I think it's even more important to speak truth to power at times where it's incredibly difficult for people to hear it.
And the book is described as more than like a biography, but a spiritual journey. Can you tell us more about this journey from darkness to light? And also how self-awareness plays a big role in this narrative.
Along the path of my musical journey, I began a spiritual journey, learning transcendental meditation and other forms of meditation through study of indigenous spiritual studies. And that made my perspective change. That, and I think a lot of travel. I think travel is an incredible way of enlarging your world and understanding more perspectives than your own or your colloquial, small area of life that you know. So it's a combination of those things that I think changed my perspective. But meditation helped me stay grounded. It helped me understand beyond the prima facie, external things that I was confronted with, to be able to look deeply into things and to recognize that we are all one. I think that is an incredibly important point.
Now about the photo collection in the book, do this image help you tell your story in a different way? Is there a particular photo or moment that holds a special meaning for you?
The photos, to be honest with you, were an afterthought for the book. The publishers wanted some photos from my childhood and from my young adulthood and some from my early musical days. So we basically went through a bunch of photo libraries and were able to supply them. I really enjoy seeing the pictures of myself with my family at a young age that I rarely visit. So that's really beautiful.
And writing a biography can be such a transformation, personal experience. How do you feel now after sharing your story to the world? Has this process changed your perspective on life and your career?
Writing a biography or a memoir is definitely transformational. I call it paid therapy. It allowed me to do things that I would have never otherwise had time for, including research my grandparents' history, my parents' history, and being able to, look deeply into my own life, my own mistakes, my own, the decisions that I've made in life and why I've made them. So I highly recommend it for anyone. Although it takes a long time to do, but it's been an incredible journey for me, and I value it highly.
To finish, I want to know, what do you hope that Brazilian readers will take from Down with the System? Is there something specific with your story that you believe will particularly resonate with the audience here?
I don't know what Brazilian readers or any other readers will take from my book, to be honest. You don't make art for people, you make art because you have to. And when you do, and if it's true, it usually resonates because we're all human beings, we're all universally connected, we're all the same. So, hopefully it will resonate based on the experiences, challenges, and lessons that I've learned within the book. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time, Serj.
89, a Rádio Rock.